out Jonnu Smith, and if it's not Jonnu, then who else is it there? And then he raises his hand saying, I'm not perfect either, which does push back on the narrative that he's a selfish guy and throws people under the bus.
After throwing someone under the bus.
Well, and again, it's
always somebody else's fault.
Except he did say I overshot Roman Wilson. If you recall, Roman Wilson, the receiver, was open on the right side, and he airmailed it. And then that's the issue here is if the quarterback and the receivers they do have are not on the same page, and DK Metcalf is on the side of a football milk carton right now, and that isn't working out. And George Pickens, who they sent away because they couldn't countenance whatever he was meaning for the team in the locker room, is now one of the best receivers in the NFL, showing how it can be done with him successfully. This is definitely not the way the Steelers thought they'd be entering December. And then, of course, there's that now third rail subject matter about the coach. Fire Tomlin chants all over the place. And Tomlin was asked about that after the game.
What goes through your mind when the crowd chanting to fire you in your home stadium?
Man, I share their frustration tonight, man. We didn't do enough. And that's just the reality of it.
That is the reality of it. Rodgers was even asked a question that he knew where the answer would go, or at least where he thought the media was trying to get him. Hit it.
Do you see the flatness within the game and in practice as something that's not being done right from a coaching aspect or preparation aspect that's kind of framing you guys in the wrong way?
I know what you're trying to ask, and I'm not going to go down that road at all. I believe in the coaching staff. I believe in Mike Tomlin. That's why I came here. And players need to take accountability, myself included, and I will continue to. I got to play better. But there's 11 stars on offense, 11 on defense, plus with the personnel groupings that we run. And we got to have a Monday to Saturday that we can be really proud of, our best Monday to Saturday, and go out and play our best game and take control of the division.
Great answer, by the way. I have to give it up there. Problem is the Wilson that he's got is not named Garrett. He's not walking through the door, and Devontae Adams is catching touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford. We'll talk about the Rams losing in Carolina later on. That's the problem is who's walking through the door. Honestly, if I told you before the season Steelers would be 6-6 going into December and Tony Romo would be talking about their difference maker is Darnell Washington, and they need to work him in more. And the defense would be giving up the most yards a Steelers team has given up to an opponent since Gerald Ford was president. I'm telling you, and I hear from Steelers fans, I hear it, and they have 5 games to turn it around. That's the problem. Who's going to help turn it around? They do have both games against the Ravens left. If they can steel themselves, pun intended, and win those games and sweep them, they can win the division and go in with some momentum, but then what happens? Chargers come into town. Colts come into town. Texans come into town. Can you win that? Can you go on a run? And that's what the Steelers want to see. It's the fans want to see from the Steelers. I don't want to care about 500 anymore. We want to go into the playoffs. We want to win. And this doesn't look like a team that can do that right now. I got to shoot you straight up. I always do. And if it doesn't happen over the next 5 weeks, I am wondering if everybody goes back to their separate corners and decides that's where we're going to stay, in separate corners, and that the Steelers and the Tomlin administration are over. And I'm not laying this on the coach because I think the coach is as dynamite as they come, and I'm just wondering if he's sitting around thinking, this isn't working anymore for me. And who's going to be the quarterback here moving forward? And I saw what my counterpart across the state in Philadelphia, once upon a time synonymous with that team from Pennsylvania, what he's done in his 2.0. Let me go somewhere else and find me another quarterback in another situation and prove my worth and self, and I don't need to be here anymore either. You got to wonder if that's creeping into his head with a loss like this where they can't stop the run, they can't run it, they can't throw it. Their cold-blooded serial killer kicker, he doesn't even get a shot to do anything either. Nothing's working. And that's the way it was been looking on the road, like in.
And the NFL analyst, Herman Edwards, joining us to talk. The late games have just wrapped up. Let's dive in. You ready to dive in?
I'm ready to roll, my friend.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Bills Steelers, a cold and windy evening in Pittsburgh. The Steelers really struggled on offense.
This guy didn't, this Josh Allen fella.
He did the job.
Yeah.
Rodgers, play action, and here comes Joey Bosa, and here comes the football, and there goes Christian Benford. Scoop and score.
That always helps when your defense can score early in a game like this. And Aaron Rodgers is a little bit hurt.
Bloodied, slightly bowed. And then Josh Allen creating in close. He's got Keon Coleman on 4th and goal, so it's 16-7 Buffalo, and then Allen weaving through.
Watch this. They just push him in. It's like a rugby play.
He didn't have to do much there at the end. Courtney Cronin spoke with James Cook afterward.
James, you lead this team in rushing and receiving today. If you hear this stat and you're surprised by it, this is the most rushing yards an opponent has ever put up in this stadium. How does that sit with you?
I mean, it feels good, against a tremendous defense like that, well coached with great players, I just try to come here and just do my job and play my game.
We know that you guys rely so much on this offensive line, Spencer and Dion not being here today, but the play that Alec and Ryan gave you guys and gave the rushing game, how much did their contributions mean today?
I mean, just trusting in my guys, I told them guys, I texted them guys this morning. When I woke up, I just told them, I trust in you, both of them. And, they just texted me, I love you, brother, and let's play football.
In about 15 seconds in the third quarter, this game changed. Christian Benford, what was that?
Oh, I told him. He said he got my back, and I had his. So, we went out there and just had fun.
How much did you guys need this one, coming off the loss last Thursday and being able to go into that Bengals game with an edge?
We just trying to get back in the win column, and just go back to practice Monday or Tuesday and get better.
Enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Keep trying to figure out the Bills. One week you watch them, this week they just dominated that Steelers. They ground them into the dirt.
In Pittsburgh, too.
Yeah.
This was a physical win for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, you mentioned it. They took the ball and ran it at the Pittsburgh Steelers with their runners and the quarterback. And to win a game like this, I mean, this obviously gives them a lot of momentum going toward the end of the season. Because now, look, going into this Sunday, 21 teams had a chance to get in the playoffs.
Yep.
21 teams.
Steelers Nation, listen closely. Because what happened today inside the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex was one of those moments that reminds us exactly why this franchise never gives up on its young talent, never stops developing, and never lets adversity define its future. This is more than just an injury update. This is the story of a rookie whose fight, perseverance, and raw potential represent everything that Pittsburgh football has always stood for. We're talking about Donte Kent, the 7th-round pick out of Central Michigan, who fought tooth and nail to make the 53-man roster, only to have his NFL dream paused by an injury just before the season began. And now, just as the window to return finally opened, just as the path back onto the field began to clear, he found himself facing yet another setback. But Steelers Nation, don't let the headline fool you. This is not a story of defeat. This is a story of resilience. This is a story of a young defensive back who has already proven to the coaching staff that he belongs in this league. And even though another injury has slowed him down, it has not stopped what Pittsburgh sees in him, what the front office believes he can become, and what the team expects him to contribute in the very near future. Reports from practice made it clear. Kent came back hungry, explosive, eager to show what months of rehab and preparation had built inside him. He was a limited participant on his return day due to a knee and ankle issue, but those who were there said the burst was still there. The instincts were still there. The competitive fire was still burning. The Steelers did not bring him off IR out of pity. They opened his window because he earned that opportunity. And they did it because they know how much his skill set matters to the future of this secondary. Make no mistake, Pittsburgh has been searching all season for reinforcements in the defensive backfield. They've made roster moves, called up young players, and experimented with depth to stabilize a group that has been tested week after week. And Kent was supposed to be part of that solution. He was supposed to be the next man up. A chance to debut this season was right in front of him. But here's the truth, and this is what so many outside Pittsburgh don't understand. The Steelers never evaluate rookies based only on their first season. They evaluate the long arc. They look at who you can become, not just where you are today. And Donte Kent? The organization sees something real in him, something worth investing in, something worth developing. General Manager Omar Khan said it himself this offseason. Kent's versatility jumped off the tape. His ability to contribute on special teams, compete at slot corner, and even offer depth at safety made him one of the most intriguing under-the-radar prospects in the entire draft. They loved his instincts, they loved his production in college, they loved his character. And that impression has not changed, not one bit, even with injuries slowing his path to the field. The setback means his 21-day window may close before he can be activated. If that happens, his rookie season ends on IR. But that is not the end of the conversation. It is the beginning of next year's storyline. Pittsburgh fully expects him to compete in 2026. They expect him to fight for a significant role, not just as a depth player, but as a real contributor in the secondary rotation. And with the Steelers continuing to rebuild their defensive identity, with young talent emerging, with the staff demanding speed, intelligence, and versatility, Kent fits that blueprint perfectly. Steelers Nation, we have seen this before. This organization thrives on late-round gems. It thrives on players who get overlooked. It thrives on young defenders who come back from adversity and develop into something special. Think about the names throughout history. Pittsburgh has always found ways to turn raw prospects into foundational pieces. Donte Kent is built from that same mold, and the coaching staff knows it. The disappointment of this setback is real, but so is the belief inside the building. And as fans, as a community that understands the heart of Steelers football, we know exactly how important that belief is. Injuries may have delayed his debut, but they have not derailed his future. If anything, this moment is shaping him, molding him, preparing him to hit 2026 with the full force of someone who has waited, suffered, worked, and earned every inch of opportunity coming his way. So Steelers Nation, I want to hear from you. Do you believe Donte Kent will break out next season? Do you see the potential for him to become a key part of this secondary moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, and subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire for more coverage, analysis, and reactions as we continue riding through this season together. This is Pittsburgh football, and the future is still bright.